All right, it's been a minute. We're back here in the Cluboratory at Miles of Golf in Ann Arbor. I'm Luke. I'm joined by one of our expert club fitters, Jacob Coudray. Jacob, what's up, man?
How's it going?
Not too bad. I am excited.
This is going to be a good video.
Today we are taking a look at the brand new line of GT drivers from Titleist, one that I selfishly have been waiting a long time for. I have played Titleist drivers for as long as I can remember. I had the 909D Comp, I had the 910, I had the 915, I had TSI. I currently play TSR2, so this is one I feel like I'm well qualified to step into the hitting bay and take a couple swings with.
Absolutely.
Taking a look at these guys right now, I mean, Titleist did it again. These things look amazing. They look, as I've hit them a little bit already, look good, sound good, feel good, everything that we have come to know with Titleist.
I love that they haven't lost that kind of classic Titleist shape.
Yep. I mean, other companies we see a lot more like carbon fiber visible, like on the crowns, just different, maybe sometimes colorful designs. Other times, like Cobra's Dark Speed, for example, all the matte black.
Yeah.
Definitely changing year after year from what they've done. If you set a Titleist down, you know you're looking at one.
Exactly.
Which that's why I think I gravitate towards it, of just the classic look where every generation when I set it down, I go, yeah, that looks familiar to me. Getting into the changes that we see here in GT, probably the biggest change I've seen in a Titleist driver in recent years is their carbon thermoform crown. It literally comes off. Obviously not when you're swinging it. This is how it's put together in multi-material construction. It's made of carbon. Jacob here, he has an example of that carbon in his hands. You can hear that sound behind it. That is a
very metallic. Doesn't sound like carbon.
Yeah, it's got strength to it. You can tell that it's like, this is a very durable material. This isn't something that is just lightweight for lightweight's sake. You see other companies do this in one way or another, saving weight for center of gravity purposes. That's the main idea behind this. What I like about Titleist, and then I'll have obviously images on screen of the top, you can't tell that is what the crown looks like. It still
completely invisible.
Exactly. It looks like exactly like you think a Titleist driver would. Reason behind this change that Titleist is doing, aerodynamics, center of gravity. Probably the two overarching biggest changes we see in this GT series is a little bit of a lower and more forward CG, as well as the ability to maybe swing it a little bit faster. What, you being a fitter, Frenchie, what excites you about handing this to a golfer?
What I like is obviously bringing in the aerodynamics, right? That's kind of the first point Titleist brought up when they came out here.
Yeah.
Is being able to move that club as fast as possible. If I can put a driver in someone's hands and they swing it faster than someone else, it just gives them a head start in order to get that ball going farther.
Yep.
Secondly, controlling that center of gravity, right? One, stabilizing MOI while also allowing for a little bit faster ball speeds. If we can keep a center of gravity forward while maintaining a high MOI, it's going to be very forgiving and very fast.
Everything about that, if I was stepping into a fitting bay and you told me like, hey, we're going to see this out of this driver, man, give that in my hands.
You put it in my hands,
Let me hit a couple balls with that. One thing I almost kind of glanced over when it comes to CG is that I said it's lower and more forward in the driver, but that doesn't mean they're losing MOI in that center of gravity being farther back. With that crown, losing that weight at the top section allows them to spread it a little bit more evenly, a little, what they call split mass construction, where we can push that CG forward for better ball speeds, better launch characteristics for what golfers want to see, but they can still bring that CG back into the head to make sure that, hey, this driver's still forgiving. One thing that really stuck with me when the Titleist reps were out here talking about what ideas were in mind with this driver. One of the biggest market trends we've seen over the last, I would say like 2-ish years, is MOI. We have G430 10K, we have QI10 Max, preaching like, hey, this is ultimate forgiveness.
Yeah.
It's not to say that Titleist is completely ignoring that by any means. They just want to prioritize every aspect of a driver equally. They don't want one driver in their lineup to be like, hey, this is super ultra forgiving. This is the super ball speed. All three of these drivers we're going to test today, the GT2, the GT3, and the GT4, are all meant to be kind of even across the board of priority of, hey, we want this to launch in the right angle. We want the ball speed to be good behind it. We want the trajectory, the workability of it to be good. But there's just different profiles for each golfer. One final, I shouldn't say a change, we saw it in TSR especially, is their variable face thickness. It's just, again, improving off previous years. We have more data on where players miss on the face, where we need a little bit more speed and forgiveness off that. And Titleist is doing just that. Making sure that, hey, wherever we hit this on the face is going to come off with a little bit better ball speed and a little bit more forgiveness, which I think we can all agree is really awesome.
I know I need that.
Yeah. Before I step in and start hitting some shots now, we're going to go over a little bit about each of the heads we're testing out today, the 2, the 3, and the 4. Jacob, tell me a little bit about each of these heads and maybe the player that is typically meant for.
Yeah, so starting with the GT2, there is no movable weight on this one. This is just meant for get that weight back, be super forgiving. It is going to be probably your most purpose driver for the general public, amateur golfers type style. Moving into our GT3, now this is when we're adding our ability to shift the center of gravity towards the heel, towards the toe. This is a little bit of a lower spinning model, gears better with a little bit of faster speeds, but it can go with any single player out there. Going into our last model, the GT4, where we do have swappable weights in both the front and the back to control a little bit of the launch characteristics. This is the super low spin model, right? Really high swing speed players.
Yep.
Still going to be fairly high MOI, but just designed to kind of get that ball to go as far as possible.
GT4, as you were saying, that is the only one that's different in terms of the overall size of the driver.
Yep.
That one comes in at 430 cc's. That's available in 8, 9, and 10 degrees.
Yep.
Compared to the GT2 and 3, which is available in 8, 9, 10, and you get that additional 11-degree driver. Those are both 460 cc's, just designed a little bit differently. The 3 has that definitely player shape model.
Yeah, a pear shape.
Exactly. It's one that I've always gravitated towards. Again, played it in the 915 into the TSI. I liked that look.
Yeah.
In TSR, when I switched to that guy, the TSR2, it didn't look overly big for me by any means. It was definitely a change in terms of what I was used to looking at.
Yeah.
But when I saw the performance of it, that it didn't overspin like I was kind of scared of, and that it was just kind of a little bit more forgiving for me, it made it a no-brainer, like, yeah, this is going straight in the bag, which is what I'm going to be most curious about in my testing with these 3 drivers. I still, in my head, I want to get into that 3 model. I want to look down. I want to see that pear shape.
Exactly.
I hate seeing the ball go left. If anything, the 3 should maybe help me with that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a little bit on my end with face control coming into impact, but that's kind of why I maybe want to get into that model a little bit more to hopefully reduce that miss a little bit. We're going to be trying all these out with the same shaft, My Gamer, Ventus Blue TR6X. I think we should just get in and start hitting them.
I want to see some shots, bro.
I want to hit some shots right now. Let's do this. So I got the GT2 in my hands, just setting it down. Again, like I said, it's a Titleist driver. It fits my eye super well. It looks a lot like how I was used to with my TSR2. I can definitely notice the changes to the overall structure for the aerodynamics. It looks, again, just a tad bit different, but I like it.
Yeah.
Let's see how it performs.
Laser right down the middle.
Yeah, normally I play a little draw for the viewers at home. This is my first time having you guys see me swing. What'd that guy come in at?
13 at 2,600, 289, 308. Dead center of the fairway, bud.
That sounds good. What'd I swing that at?
114. 148 smash.
Again, just getting into it. We'll see how that swing speed. I'm very curious to see if my swing speed goes up. When I'm really warm, again, swinging for a while, I'm used to seeing that kind of 116, 117 number pop up. I'm going to be curious if I see that 120 pop up as I really start to get warm with these guys.
Moving it. Yeah, great ball there, bud.
It's a little off the toe. I like to see it start more right for me and come back.
Immediate jump up, 116 club.
Wow.
115.6. I'll round up for you, though.
Getting warm. I'm getting warm, dog.
You said that was toey.
It felt toey.
Okay, because we actually spun up a little bit, 2,900.
That's good. Because I don't want that to drop too
we don't
low.
want that overturn.
Yeah, no, not at all. A little cut on that guy.
A little cut. Ooh, jumping up in speed. 117, there you're at.
So that's what I'm used to right there. Like that speed.
Yeah, 13.7 at 2,500, 299, 316.
Woo!
How'd that one feel?
That was as good as a driver can feel.
There you go, 149 smash factor. 175, 12.3 at 2,800.
175 ball speed?
175, my friend.
Oh my God. What did I swing that at?
117.7, right where you want to be. Efficiency's through the roof on that one.
One more good one, and then we're moving on. I like to see that. All right. We're going to give this one the full treatment and see what happens.
Let it rip.
That was so far off the heel, and it's still so good.
Well, you're going to like what I'm about to tell you. 176 ball speed, 11.5 at 2,700, 300 yards carry, 5 feet off the center of the fairway. In the bag. Immediately in the bag.
Again, I don't know if we covered it from the front. 9 degrees is exactly what I play.
Yep.
All these drivers will be set at 9 at A1, which I am. It's always what I've played.
Yep.
I mean, come on, man. Let's see what the 3 has to offer. Moving into the 3 model.
What kind of changes are you seeing going from that GT2 now to the GT3?
Not as much as I thought. Really, like going from one model to the other right now. Again, when you set them down right next to each other, you can like really see the slight difference with this being more pear-shaped.
Yeah.
That typical look that I like to see.
You kind of see it in the heel area,
Yeah.
kind of by the shaft.
Just really moves in. Like, if you were to tell me, like, are these two different drivers? Yeah, I can notice, but it's very minimal.
Very subtle.
To where, like, I'm probably still going to play that 2 model after seeing what those misses
Right.
did, but I really want to see what this does.
Seed.
That works.
A little lower launch. Did you catch that lower in the face?
It felt a tad lower. What was my attack angle?
4 up still.
Yeah. I was a little up, like more up in my attack angle on the 2, which still worked out, obviously.
Yeah,
But
I mean, 10.8 at 2,800.
I like to see my launch a little on the lower side. When I'm, again, playing in tournaments, I like to try to keep it down, get it on the ground as much as possible. Obviously, it's fun to tee it up and throw it in the air and see it go 330.
Tee it high, let it fly.
It's not the most playable when you're
Right.
trying to like really shoot low scores. So like, if anything, if that's my miss, that's money.
Yeah. You're not missing a fairway with that swing.
No. Ah, there's that left ball I was talking about.
Moving it, though. 176, 11 at 2,300, 304, 327. That is a bomb, my friend.
Yeah.
Don't hit a drive much straighter than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
See what TrackMan reads here. That's such a good drive. 173, 11 at 2,700. 294, 313, man. That is so good. 2 feet of curvature on that.
Seeing that out of the 3 head's awesome. All right, I'm feeling froggy. Just to see how it flies.
God, you are swinging fast today, man. 177, 121 club head speed, by the way.
Oh my God.
13 at 2,600, 305, 320, dead middle of the fairway.
One last one. Selfishly, let's see if 180 pops up on the TrackMan screen because I've never seen that pop up before. That's got to be 180.
177.
Oh, come on. That felt so good.
You swung it a little slower there.
That was
But
so
I mean,
good,
that
though.
drive is perfect. We got 14 launch at 13.6 at 2,200, 311, 330. You sure you want to play the GT2?
Okay. All right, we have our final contested tonight, GT4.
How's that look?
As someone who played 909 decomp back in the day, looks like home. Yeah, this is like, I mean, this is everything TSI, well, all the 3 models are in, more of just like, man, it's that old head. It's funny saying old now
Yeah.
that, like, again, like, we're not
Like
that
a
old.
spoon look?
Yeah,
Thing?
I mean, this looks like that tour head
Yeah.
that you're used to. I am incredibly curious to see what speeds I put up with this. I want to see that 180 number pop up. Just
Yeah.
super selfishly, I've never seen that on TrackMan. That's the biggest thing. Again, we're going to do conclusions, but seeing those speeds that those have been putting up, that's different. Like, obviously, everyone always talks about faster, faster, faster. These heads are faster, plain
They
and
are
simple.
fast.
I guess, like, hypothesis, I'm very curious to see what dispersion does with this. That would be, like, the main reason someone like me, a little bit higher speed, wouldn't play this driver.
Yeah.
Is like, hey, is it going to go as straight as the other two? Let's see.
Great swing there.
Thank you. Just a tad tugged. A little low in the face. That's how I'm just catching it today.
Yeah, swung a little slower on that one.
Getting tired, dude. It is a warm day, man. It is hot. It is
But I mean,
humid.
off strike hit, 10 at 2,500. I like seeing that with this model.
Because that was like low heel. That's one that typically with other driver heads I test in here, it's like, that's still 10, but it's getting up there.
And even, you know, this version in previous models, it was a little spinny there. So seeing that stay down, very encouraging.
It's awesome. See if I can't do it justice. It definitely feels different than the other two, for sure, off the face. You can, like, it's got that feel, like, I can't put it into words, but you feel the low spin of it. When it comes off the face, again, it's not bad, it's not bad, it's just different.
Yeah, and the numbers would agree with you. 174, 13.5 at 1,800.
Yeah, that's...
All right, is a much lower spinning head for sure.
And I'm someone that likes to see spin.
Yeah.
I would much rather a driver spin at 3,000 than 1,800. Like, sure, high launch, low spin, that's going to go forever. But we said, I want to hit fairways. It's not to say that you want to spin it more. Again, there's ideal launch characteristics, but I like to see the ball get into a different window for me. But as we say that, I want to hit this thing.
That was 307, 330.
Yeah, I want to hit this thing. I want to hit this thing 350 right now.
Great swing.
That one had a little bit more on it. I can still see the knuckle on it.
176.5. 149 smash. Back at that 13.5 at 1,800.
Yeah.
311, 334.
And again, that's not, as I'm like talking about spin.
Yeah.
This is the 90-degree head. These are the ones I have. We're keeping every variable the same. It's not to say that if I maybe grab the 10-degree head with this to see how that performs.
Yeah.
Again, this
Get
isn't
that
a
launch
full
up a
fitting
little
for
bit.
me. I don't have every single option I would want to have to pick my driver for this upcoming year. But this is definitely, in comparison, definitely lower spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just doesn't have the stability I would want to see in terms of spin.
Yeah.
That one, like, it fell out of the
a
air.
little left on that one.
Yeah. And that, again, missing that a little left, that is my miss. It's not to say this is going to promote that miss, but it's just not going to help me as much as the 2 or the 3 would.
Exactly.
A lot of swings
cut.
today.
I want to see what that does, though.
Yeah. I hit that hard.
175.
Yeah. This just isn't my driver. It's not for me. The misses are just a little bit too much in both direction for me to say, like, hey, I would want to play this driver. It's not to say that it's not anybody else's driver. This just isn't my driver. Finished with all 3 models. Conclusions on my end, I'm going to ask you the numbers because you're looking at the computer over there. I'm still a Titleist driver guy. I'm going to play one of these models. I know that everything about me swinging these, especially the 2 and 3, it felt like home to a golfer like me who has typically played Titleist drivers. Go through those numbers for me a little bit of what each of these were comparative to each other.
Yeah. If I had to give you an answer now, it's not really close. But I will say that starting with that GT2, immediately super high MOI. It is very stable for you. It doesn't, when you want to miss left and you miss right, it still wants to keep you in play. It is a little bit higher spinning. Now we did have a couple that missed a little more right. It's going to affect that a little bit. Right. We look at 172 ball speed, 148 smash, giving us 12.7, 2700 is pretty good. 294 carry, 311. That helps you anywhere you want to play.
If you were to ask me before I hit any of these, is like, what launch characteristics do you want to see out of a driver? I'll tell you 12 at 26. That is what I want to see out of a window, and that's pretty much what I hit there.
Well, you're going to really like the numbers on the GT3 then.
Am I?
So one, you did start swinging a little faster, so we have to keep that in consideration. We jumped up a couple miles an hour in club head speed. But if we look at your ball speed, 175, really efficient. 12 at 25.68. You are right at the number you're looking for, averaging 301 carry, 320 total, and also it was your smallest circle. You know,
Really?
it was the straightest driver on the day for you, with maybe a tiny bit of left bias.
Yeah.
Just trying to swing fast, probably. Moving to that GT4, immediately way lower spinning, going 13 at 2100. You know, 400 RPMs less than the previous model is a significant jump, but that is right that 30cc drop in size. You know, attributing to that. Obviously, easier to get a little offline, a little less stable.
It's as expected with this model. Again, this is the guys we've seen play that 4 model on tour are your high speed players.
Exactly.
Like, I mean, Scott Stallings would, again, not a lot of guys that I know in the recent year played TSR for. I know Adam Scott messed around with it for a little bit.
He did with Autoflex.
Exactly. That's such a cool build. But, I mean, the guys that come to my mind, Scott Stallings has always played that super small model. As a guy that lags the club a bunch, and he's coming in with a lot of speed. He needs everything he can to get that ball from here to here.
Exactly.
Which I can think of a lot of players that we fit in here where, like, if they can't, I was like, I'm grabbing that head. We need to do anything we can to keep
that ball down.
Yep, exactly. After hearing those numbers, I got to do one more session myself just to make sure on everything. Because hearing that dispersion-wise with the 3 was incredibly similar, if not a little bit better than the 2, is very encouraging.
Yeah.
Because, again, that's Titleist going to work of like, hey, the 3 isn't just your super high-speed, low-spin model.
Yeah.
The 2 is your max forgiveness, a little bit higher spin, but less speed model.
Yeah.
The ball speed jumps in, like, because the club head speed and the ball speed went hand in hand as we went from 2 to 3.
Yep.
That was me getting just a little bit more warmed up. I would venture to guess that if I took the 2 and swung it a couple more times,
I mean, because if we look at it, right, the smash factor was slightly better with the 2. It was 148 versus 147. So, efficiency's right there.
Yeah, and then I bet if I were to swing the 2 a couple times right now, it would be closer to that 175 number. So it's just going to come down to, again, in another session, one more session of testing to see which head I would want to throw in. But seeing that, as I said at the beginning, as someone that kind of wants to be in that 3, but I'm open. Again, I played the 2 last year. That's awesome to hear that I might be able to get back into that players-like look and still have the stability behind it. I mean, other than that, man, Titleist knocked it out of the park, as expected.
Another home run.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to drivers, if we're pulling a driver out of here, if we're giving someone a Titleist, it's like, hey, man, like, we know this is going to be in the running. It's just going to be how that one golfer likes it, because we say it in every video. Every golfer is different. I have always loved Titleist. This fits my eye amazing. I fit golfers where I give them a Titleist, I go, this isn't for me. Everybody's different, and that's why you have to come in here, and that's why you have to test out drivers and see, like, hey, which one's going to work best for me.
That's why you get fit.
Exactly. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching, as always. It really means a lot. These are a lot of fun to make. If you have any other video ideas at all that you want us to do, please leave those in the comments below. But other than that, I'm Luke.
I'm Jacob.
See you guys.